NTI Day 2829, May 13th through 14th, one-step algebraic equations. Today for this assignment, I know the day before we learned about plus and minus one-step algebraic equations. Today we're going to learn about multiply and divide one-step equations. So I'm going to draw my little visual over here for you guys. Remember that the opposite of multiply, so there's my multiply sign, is divide. Okay, and the opposite is also true. The opposite of divide is multiply. But now that we're in 6th grade, multiply is shown in a different way. So that's the first step you need to know and remember about these one-step algebraic equations. Let's look at the number 1. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see it a tad bit better. Okay, there we go. So, number 1. Oops, scroll down just a little bit. Right there. There we go. So we get 3x equals 36. And you might be looking at that 3x and you say, well, what's the operation sign? Remember that when a number and a variable or a letter, when a number and a letter are close together, that means that you multiply those two. So remember, side by side, we multiply. So this actually means 3 times x. So that's what that means, 3 times x. And the reason why they don't use that the x for multiply anymore is because x is often used for a variable in algebra. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase that, but I just wanted to remind you all, remember, we said it a lot of times in class. When we were in class, we said side by side, you multiply. So the first step for one-step algebraic equations is we find the equal sign and we draw the line. The second step is we look at the number in the operation that is on the same side as the variable. So I'm looking at this side because there is my x right there. And remember, this says 3 times x. So you have to think to yourself, what's the opposite of times? We can go over here to our visual and see the opposite of times is divide. So I'm actually going to do 3x divided by 3. Okay. And we know that 3 divided by 3 is just a 1. So these two 3's cancel out, and we just have a 1 over here. We'll go ahead and write down my x there. But what we do to one side of our line, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to divide this side by 3. So we get 36 divided by 3. And I'm not sure what that is, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my calculator. Remember, you can use your cell phone. Actually, I'll go ahead and kind of remind you how to use it on your cell phone. I have an Android, so mine might be a little bit different than all you iPhone users out there. Not a problem. So I'm going to pull up my regular old calculator that comes with my phone. Looks like that. And I'm simply going to type in 36 divided by 3. Looks like that. I hit equals and it gives me the answer, which is 12. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys, remember, you're just typing in your answers for, that's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about writing on this if you don't want to. You don't have to worry about submitting a Google form. I know some people have said that. There's no Google form. That's okay. Just type your answer and then just move on to the next one. Okay. Number 2, I am going to demonstrate how to type. If you can't draw, you can't figure out the draw tool, I'm going to show you how to type your work as well. Okay, so let's look at number 2. 5p equals 25. So what this means is 5 times something equals 25. We're trying to figure out what that something is. Oops. Okay, so the opposite of 5p or 5 times p is divided by p. And I could show you how to do the divide by sign. In fact, I'll show you right now if you like. It's a little complicated. You have to go to Insert. You have to go to Special Characters. And then you have all these characters. And then just scroll down and try to find the divide sign. So you usually can go down here with, yeah, it's really like, it's not fun at all. Okay. Or, actually, you'd have to go up here to insert equation. That's how you do it. And then you have the divide sign right there. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. Okay. But instead of doing all that, that's a little bit complicated. What you can do is you can just put 5p, and then you can do this slash. That's usually up there around your number keyboard if you have one, or it's at the top. It's actually by the shift key as well, so there's another slash. So you can just put 5p slash 5. Oops. And then we can type our equal sign, which is on the keyboard. And then we're going to put another slash 5 on this side, because whatever we do on this side of the equation sign, we do on that side. So then we get the 5 and 5 cancel out, so we have the p equals, and we get 25 divided by 5. Pick up your calculator, type that in, we get p equals 5. So I'm going to go down here to my box and I'm going to type in 5. So you can type all of this in your document that I've assigned you because I've given you editing rights. Okay, so that's how you would do it with that. So I've already given you the answer to number 1 and number 2. If you just watch my videos, you get the answers.